Welcome home, Raiders! This week, getting your legendary ring fully upgraded just got a little easier, and Activision Blizzard makes a strong New Year's resolution. More eSports. All that and more. This is Convert to Raid number 206.
You're listening to Convert to Raid, the podcast for raiders in the world of Warcraft.
Podcast Power Station in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today is January 5th, 2016. Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us from all around World of Warcraft land. Hi, my name is Pat Crane. I am the host of this little shindig that we call Convert to Raid. And, as always, the players are here. Let's get to the players. Let's do it. Let's go to California, to the guy that actually got out of traffic on time today, which is weird. Dairies!
I did. I left at 7 this morning to make sure I got here for 7 p.m. tonight. Yeah. It's only 16 miles, but
right.
I don't know if you've ever sat in California traffic.
Well, that just shows great dedication. And Dairies, thanks for the show.
Thanks for the show, bud.
It's a little inside joke that we have. All right. Next up from Lords of the Storm, we have Gizmo.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy New Year. Glad to be back.
Yes, it is good to be back, and it's great to have you here. And, of course, Lords of the Storm, where you can get all of your Heroes of the Storm news, right?
Absolutely. We started back up this last week as well, so
woohoo!
Some Lunara talk.
Awesome. And from Adults with Jobs, and he's an Aspera guy, it is Sharku.
So there's about a 97% chance that I burped during your intro a little bit. You might do that.
You know.
I saw Darius start shaking his head. I was like, I just drank some soda. I don't know what to do about that. It's just something that happens sometimes. It's a live show. We roll with the punches.
It's totally cool. It's fine.
So
it's not a big deal. Not a big deal.
It wasn't just an awesome, hilarious sounder that Zug put in there. It was actually me belching.
Yeah. I'll make sure to take it out of the audio, at least. So we've got that.
No, I think you need to leave it in. I think it's something that we've already talked about.
All right, fine. I'll leave it in.
We've established it's a thing. So
I really.
It's Convert to Right.
Okay.
Dang it, Shark, you made me do it.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, fellas. And it's now 2016. A whole year has passed since our last show.
Feels like it.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's been a long time, though. It's been like a couple of weeks. And
it was last time I was on the show.
And there's lots of stuff still not really going on. I mean, people are back to work now, including all the guys over at Blizzard. So now we're starting to see some activity, which is great. And hopefully we'll be seeing Overwatch and Legion Alpha come back, or maybe even Legion Beta at this point. Who knows? Just lots of interesting things for looking forward to the year ahead. So, what have you guys been up to? How are your holidays? How was your New Year? What exciting things have happened to you other than watching the Star Wars movies a bunch of times? Shark, how about you? What's been going on with you?
Man, I had a great holiday. Part of the perks of working in education is that you get a long winter break and a long summer break. So I had a lot of fun just, chilling, playing some video games, hanging out with my friends and family. I got a PlayStation.
Woohoo! Nice.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun playing some PS4, playing some Battlefront that I'm not necessarily thrilled with. I think I had too high of expectations for that game.
Wait, which one? Battlefront?
Fun game?
Battlefront, yeah.
I mean, it's not, I don't know.
It's fun.
It's Star Wars.
Yeah, it's a really good half of a game. Like Battlefront 2 is going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Because I remember playing the old Battlefront 2, and you had missions and all this stuff you had to do and different. But anyway, I mean, it's a great game. The graphics are beautiful. But and there's other games. I played Witcher for the first time
Did you play Witcher 3? I hear good things about that one.
I've been playing through it. It was game of the year, and a lot of people's like their own best games of the year. But that it won, and Fallout 4 it too, which I thought Fallout 4 was an incredible game. So anyway, lots of gaming stuff. Getting into World of Warcraft, playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm with adults with jobs. We're kicking back off. We've heard some possibilities of the Heroes of the Pants 2 tournament. Awesome. Might be around the corner at some point. So that's something they said they want to do another one at some point. So we're gearing up for that and just having a lot of fun.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. Gizmo, how about you? What have you been up to the last, few weeks, whatever it's been?
Lots of gaming, but actually surprisingly a lot of board games, which I hadn't done in a while, but with the family and stuff together, we picked up some board games to play, and I don't know, I think it's a newer game or it's just blowing up, but it's called Betrayal at the House on the Hill. Is an amazing board game. It's kind of like a slightly role play-ish, not really, but it's easy to pick up, and there's like 50 different games or scenarios that can happen throughout it. So the replayability is awesome, and it's just a super fun game. But then I got in a lot of Heroes of the Storm. Surprise!
No, that's never going to happen.
Just a little. With their new matchmaking system and stuff that's out. Lunar is out, and it's been a pretty good time. Looking forward to see what they're going to kick the new year off with.
So just a quick question for you. Is the new matchmaking still holding strong? Is it still going well?
I've noticed the past couple days, it's been matching up. In quick match, it's been all level 40s until the past couple days, and I've seen like a level 18 and a level 30, but that may be because of parties and whatnot, or Smurf accounts, so who knows? But it's still been better than what it was.
Council. I like that. Hey, Darius, how about you? What's been going on with you for the last couple of weeks?
Man, I went to Utah. Yeah,
what?
I went to Zion National Park and I hiked Zion.
It's beautiful.
Which was, it was the most beautiful place I've ever seen on this planet. It was snowing a little bit, and it was just amazing, amazing place. So that was really cool. As far as video games, I am playing a lot of Rise of the Tomb Raider, rather. That game is so much fun.
Or Raise. You just go through and you just like up her salary all the time.
It's pretty simple. It's that game is so much fun. That the last one they did and this one is the reboot that franchise needed, and it is so good. They made a better Uncharted than Naughty Dog, I think. That game is a blast.
Cool.
And then I have been playing a bit of WoW too. I've been going back to my Druid, my Guardian Druid, my tanking Druid, and gearing that up a little bit, getting some Baleful gear, doing Mythic Dungeons, doing a little bit of raiding and things like that. And I'm trying to catch up in the Legendary Ring Quest, and I got to what is probably the best part of WoW ever, and it's 11 years. I'm now at the shipyard.
The most exciting part of any quest ever.
Yeah, I am so excited to do that.
Yeah.
I had so much fun on it. I spent like 6 months on it.
Wow.
I think we wanted to drag it out as long as possible before I got that ring.
Do a whole show on how much all of us hated the shipyard.
Yeah.
Like, it's so bad. I'm the same place. I want my Legendary ring so bad, but not that bad.
Not that bad.
I got the achievement on my priest for completing 1,000 shipyard missions.
Oh, wow.
I have a problem.
Wow. I
have every achievement for the shipyard.
That's worse than your hat problem. Like,
no,
these are serious issues. We need to add a Dairies therapy segment to the show.
Oh man, I like it. Yeah. So okay, Shark, you were talking about games of the year.
Yeah.
About how Witcher 3 and what Fallout 4 and
was up there.
I'm trying to think of some of the other ones like Life is Strange. I mean, like some of those ones. However, none of them beat, in my opinion, Rocket League, especially when Rocket League is played with a hockey puck. Dude, Rocket League hockey, the mutator that's out right now, Snow Day. Oh, so much fun. I just played that like any time that I had, like just like 5-10 minutes. Just sit down, pop in, play a game, and just get all amped up. Oh man. So
I haven't decided how I feel about the hockey puck. I've played it a few times. It makes me so bad at the normal mode.
Mm-hmm.
But
it makes me terrible at the normal mode, but I don't care.
I was playing with 3 people, and it's so hectic. That mode, like, it's just chaos everywhere.
Yeah.
So I decided for 5 games, I played for the opposite team, and no one noticed because it's just. That's how hectic that mode is.
It is kind of random and it's kind of glitchy and all that kind of stuff. But it's so super fun, and it's just like everybody's like on the walls the entire time, so it's really great. And then I was also doing some things, and I've decided that I'm going to try to gear up my hunter Gizmo. Yeah. So I don't know if maybe we'll talk after the show maybe and see if you have any tips for me in particular going through and huntering in Warlords, but getting some gear, going through
a lot.
Yeah. QQ a lot, pull all the bosses, stand and fire. I got it. Mm-hmm. That's how I started. So, so I know how to do that part.
Hashtag hunters are bad.
But it's a lot of fun getting out there. And plus, I wasn't really happy with where I was with a druid, with the resto druid, when, during the summer, I was kind of raiding half on, and I was like, I don't know. I'm not really digging resto right now, but I've got some new life with a hunter, so I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah, just kind of doing the thing. So Dairies, one other thing that you guys have been doing as of this last week was the Moose Run started up again, right?
Yes, we re-moosed. Moosted.
So how was that?
It was good. We did another 4 or 5 runs this week. We wiped once on our last run. Because of the holidays and everything, we were actually short some of the helpers, and specifically healers. We were 2 healing. I think the last poll we had to 2 heal, and we had like 30 something people in there, and we 2 healed it. But we had some really good helpers this week. In the ones we did, we had a shadow priest that was. He was just decimating everybody on the charts.
He ranked like 25?
One of the polls he ranked 25th.
Wow.
He was doing like 250K on most of the polls. He was killing it. So we had some good helpers, which made it easy. The fights were really quick for trying to heal with some little people. But it was good. We got a bunch of people mounts, and we're going to do it again this week. Or we're going to do it until we're done. I think we're maybe a third of the way done.
Right,
we've got a long way to go.
Well, and then at some point it'll probably open back up where you can actually take some more names down. Maybe
we'll see. If we start to get
if we get a date for when Legion is actually going to release, or when they're going to take away the mount from whatever. Does it usually happen during the pre-patch, or during?
Yes,
or just
it's usually that initial that like what it would be.
The 7.0?
Yeah. 7 will get rid of it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. That's cool. So hopefully we'll get some more information, and hopefully we'll be able to open that back up. But there's still a lot of people there. So if you're on the list, please be patient. And AComp will get to everybody, get back to everybody and email them and all that kind of stuff. So
I think this week I'll be doing the email because AComp's going to
Cancun,
the moon or something.
Cancun,
the moon.
Oh my God, that'd be so great right now. That would be so awesome. All right, well, let's get to the raid news.
Calling all raiders from around World of Warcraft land. This is raiding news.
All right, it's time to check out what's happening in raiding news for raiders around the World of Warcraft, or in the news, whatever. I don't know. I screwed it up. It's the first show of the year. It's bound to happen. So first up, we have something about crystallized fel. Gizmo, what is crystallized fel, and what is going on with it?
So, it's Valor. Valor's back with a vengeance, and you can apparently now buy upgrades for your ring with Valor.
Woohoo! Actually, hold on. There we go.
I don't know how I feel about it.
What's not to like? You got another way to upgrade your ring.
Apparently, Zug's happy.
I don't know. It's
why are you hating on it?
it just feels like one of those things they do at the end of the expansions that, I mean, they do it every time. It's Valor. I'm so sick of Valor. I don't want... And it's mainly because ACOM's going to expect me to have my ring maxed out now. And it's... Dang it.
To make it worse, there's no cap.
Yeah.
You can buy multiple per week, per day, however many you want. So
that's awesome.
Raid teams are going to be expecting people to grind out Valor to cap out these rings as soon as possible. The ones that are still progressing and, going crazy. But I have no problem with them adding it to it. Like, there's nothing wrong with people upgrading their ring. It's every little bit helps. But
now I know that I understand that there are teams out there that are super competitive, if with no one else themselves. And so those teams might be expecting their raiders to do something like this. But do you think that the majority of people right now, the majority of teams are really expecting people to grind stuff out, to go at this point in the expansion? I mean, we've been on Hellfire since June. It's now January, and something broke. I don't know what that was, but something.
Dairies broke the universe.
Dairies, are you okay?
Nope.
But I mean, do you really think that there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to be like cracking the whip on this Shark?
Yes.
Really?
I do. I really. I unfortunately, anybody doing it what happens to a lot of people, I think, when things like this come out, is that it's another grindy thing you can do. It's another chore that in the minds of a lot of gamers, especially MMO gamers, you have to complete. And especially since they don't put, and I understand why they didn't put caps on it, because they were thinking that, if we make it unlimited, then people aren't going to, sit around and grind all the time. They'll just do what they know. Now they just sit around and grind all the time. And I think so that there are people in the game that expect that.
Sure.
And those people expect that of their raiders, which for people like me and my raid team is not, I don't care. We're casual anyway. I think there are going to be a lot of raid teams like that, but I think unfortunately there are going to also be those teams where they're doing fine right now, but all of a sudden you've got people, even if it's not the raid leader, it's just, the tryhards on the team. They're like, come on, guys, we got to do this. We got to do this. We got to get the edge. Come on. Now we can down Mythic. We have a chance at Mythic because we don't have any excuse. We can catch up. And it, causes shifts and problems like that. I don't know. I don't think that there's a problem.
Sure.
Necessarily, but I just don't like making the game more grindy. I don't like making something else you feel like you have to do to be an effective player. There's something else I could be doing to be better, and so I should be doing that. And it becomes monotonous and boring to me, where what I like to do is log in and raid and play with my friends, not like grinding through.
So do you think that they put this in because everybody who was grinding Valor for gear upgrades is now like going, well, now what do I grind Valor for? And then they said, oh, you guys went through that pretty quick. So, how about the ring?
Yeah, I think that's why they did it.
Sure.
But I think that any action they take like this is going to have,
Well, but I mean,
unfortunately, there's a negative side to everything, and my problem is I tend to focus on it.
Well, and Dairies, do you think that most competitive teams would have already said, "Hey, you already have to have your ring at 790 or whatever the cap is"?
I think at this point, if you're on a competitive team or a team that considers itself competitive, even against itself, you've probably maxed it out already.
Sure.
Just from the beginning till now was more than enough time to max it out from when you could have gotten it. And you probably have already killed most of the bosses in Mythic, if not all of them. We're really late in this raid cycle. Mm-hmm. This is something that'll help teams that are maybe stuck on a boss, stuck at that last 5% or 10% or something like that. Help teams get over hurdles, make things a little bit easier, make their farms a little bit faster. And I think the teams that are going to take themselves a little too seriously are going to require people to have it, but they're probably already requiring them to grind Valor and be Valor, capping out the Valor every week to get all the upgrades and things like that. Mm-hmm. And if they're still killing bosses, they're still getting loot, so they still need Valor for the loot they're getting. So I don't see this as another, like, this is just another thing on top of the grinding you're already doing, to spend it on. I don't see this as more grinding for, the people that have already done that are likely the ones that have already killed everything.
Sure.
I do like the idea of them doing something like this, though, for the groups that maybe need that little extra push. This is a way to do it instead of nerfing, content and things like that. Do this, because even 10 eye levels on that ring makes a huge difference. It's a very powerful ring when you get it up there, and when your entire raid team can upgrade to 10 levels, it helps. So. Yeah, I think this is a good idea.
Well, and this is a really great time. I mean, like right now we're seeing, I think, more than ever, because it's a new year and because it is because people are like going, okay, well, I want to check out Legion, but I kind of want to, get geared up for Legion a little bit. So you have a lot of people coming back into WoW. You have a lot of people that are creating or that have alts. That they're gearing up and going through, like I am. And for me, when I have a single alt, it's great, because then I just run content. I don't upgrade gear at all, because I don't care about that right now, because I'm not going to be gear capped for a while. So I'm not going to bother with the upgrades. I'm just going to concentrate on getting Valor so that I can get that ring up all the way upgraded as soon as I get it on my hunter. So that'll be great. And I just say again,
yeah.
Thank you. And for a guy like me, this works out really, really well. So awesome.
And on a positive note too, my raid team, we haven't downed Archimonde at all yet. So, and that's where you get the fell to upgrade your ring.
Right.
So as far as our raid is concerned, we haven't gotten any of this to drop. So it is nice to be able to have this going into Archimonde. Now people can run some Valor, get enough to get some upgrades on their ring, for those that have the ring and didn't, lose all complete focus on it.
What? No, that didn't happen. That never happens.
Once they had to do the shipyard. But yeah, so that is a good thing there. I think the pros outweigh the cons here. Being the voice the voice of dissent, focusing on the negative side. Maybe I was a little bit premature in that, because I do think there are a lot of positives that come with it. The problem is that, there's going to be ways to exploit it. There's going to be ways like Artemis in the chat room even said, new pug finder requirement, max out ring, these sorts of things that puts the aspect on the player that probably if they're pugging, they don't have time to be able to get an organized raid group, so they try to get one in when they can. And I know that's what LFR is for, but I mean, it's just, it can be frustrating. However, power to the people. I think I think there are a lot of benefits out of it. And as soon as I get my legendary ring, if I ever do finish those quests,
if you ever get out of the shipyard,
I will definitely be grinding some Valor to pick up the upgrade. So there you go.
That damn shipyard, man. I'm telling you. Oof. That's tough. That's tough. Do you think that, I think they did it because they were, like I said before, like everybody geared up all of their gear. They did the two bonus things, so everybody has a plus 10 to their gear now. And so then they decided to do the ring next. But do you think that this means anything for any other kind of significance for the game now that we're getting to the last piece of gear that we can upgrade all the time? Does this mean anything? Does this mean that we're going to get Legion sooner? I don't know. I don't see it happening. I'm throwing it out there.
You're like fishing.
I want to say it, but I don't want to say it. It's like I'd love for it to
Legion?
be.
Are we gonna?
I don't know.
Confirmed. Legion dropping Tuesday. Boom.
Yes.
They said 2016, right?
No, not that. Not that. Mm-mm. All right. Well, so I guess I can just suck it on that. That's fine.
I'm okay with that.
That's fine. That's fine. All right. In other news, this is actually big news that happened over the holiday season. We have a couple of different things. First of all, we have Mike Morheim. He actually went over to South Korea right before Christmas, like for a week. He was over there and he was like, saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna support esports over at Blizzard," and is kind of doing this little handshaking tour of all these different gaming companies and things like that, and it was supportive for all the esports that are happening in South Korea, and then right before New Year's, right before January 1st, Activision Blizzard acquires Major League Gaming for a reported $46 million. Oh,
that sounds cheap to me for that.
Oh yeah,
deal.
Yeah. You think it should have been billions like the King deal?
So
$46 million.
The thing with that though is Major League Gaming was in a lot of debt, almost that same amount of money in debt. So most of that money they used to buy them with just went to pay off the debt that they had. And they weren't even able to pay off their shareholders or anything like that. I mean, they owed a lot. They were hemorrhaging money for a long time.
Yeah.
So this is that. I mean, they got a really good deal, but that's because MLG was worth nothing,
right,
at that point.
Yeah, they were kind of struggling and they were losing a lot of money. And before they realized what was going on, and before they tried to make some moves to kind of survive a little bit longer, they just kind of ran out. And it's kind of interesting that Mike Sepko, who is the one of the heads of the esports department over at Activision Blizzard, used to be, he was the co-founder of MLG. And now
he got a good deal out of this.
He's like, hey, I'm leaving. I'm leaving the sinking ship. I'm leaving MLG. Oh wait, they got MLG back.
They got it back. Yeah. Well, and I think that this deal has probably been in the works since before they even hired Sepso. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is something that they brought Sepso over, and they'd already been negotiating purchasing MLG. And they're just like, well, let's bring the guy with the acquisition. So I think it seems to be it's the soup is a stirring. I don't know. I tried to make something happen there and I lost it completely.
There's a stew somewhere and it smells kind of funky. I don't know.
So my point is.
You had a point. Okay.
They are making some very precise and specific moves towards the realm of esports. It seems to me that they are saying very clearly, this is the future of what Activision is going to be about. And likewise, Blizzard seems to be on the boat as well with Hearthstone, Here's the Storm, Overwatch, all these new titles geared towards esports. StarCraft has been one of the biggest esports ever since esports was a thing. I think they're in a great position, and they're really trying to move forward and make it see how big this thing can get.
Yeah.
It could be huge. It could be bigger than sports.
Sports. Wow.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be concussed.
I know.
The gamers now.
What's going to happen is there's going to be a bunch of athletic guys sitting around talking about baseball and football and stuff on a podcast and being like, hey, did you watch the Overwatch match last night? It's like, oh, we don't watch. What's that esports ball? We don't watch any of that garbage. The same way. I'm sorry, baby.
All right. Randomness from Shark.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy. But it's kind of neat that now Activision Blizzard with their esports division, they don't actually have to go out and build anything now because they just bought it. So
I think they're gonna build stuff. I think they bought MLG because MLG has been around for a long time. They were obviously hemorrhaging, so they were ripe for purchasing at a low price. But they've learned over the 10, 15 years they've been around a lot of how to do things right and how to do things wrong. And now Blizzard doesn't have to make a lot of those mistakes. They've got some experts in there. The thing I find funny, though, is when Blizzard bought this, it might have even been before, they said that they wanted to become the ESPN of esports.
Yep.
The problem is they have no rights for Dota or League of Legends. So it's like saying we want to become the esports or the ESPN of esports, but we're not allowed to talk about the Super Bowl.
Right. Right. We have to call it.
It kind of puts them in a bad spot.
We have to call it the big game.
Yeah. which means now they need to grow their own through Heroes and Overwatch. And, they can do Call of Duty, but Call of Duty is lacking. CSGO is making a comeback, and MLG has the rights for that. So they can do that, but they've got a long way to go. This is not something that's going to happen this year.
I mean, the good part is that they may not have necessarily the hottest games right now for esports, but they do have a lot of promise with some of these new IPs that Blizzard has, and Activision has always got tons of games out. So, I mean, they can make a go of it. That's for sure, right, Giz?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you said, MLG has been struggling, and I think the only really competitive sport they have the rights to right now is CS:GO. I think Call of Duty and everything else is with ESL. But start out with CS:GO, bring in Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, and maybe with that success, if there is hopefully that success, it'll bring over other games.
Yeah.
And at the same time, something interesting, I believe they're building a MLG stadium somewhere.
Ooh, really?
It's being constructed.
Really?
I think it was already in the process.
Where?
I do not know where.
Oh, come on.
Heard this.
Probably in a mall.
Come on, don't tease.
I know, but I think it was something like 15, like it seats like 15,000 or something.
Wow.
And so if this happens, and people have been talking about, BlizzCon and stuff is there's too much going on, especially with all the esports. Sounds like a place that Blizzard could have their world championships, and that actually be a completely separate event off of BlizzCon. So, which would kind of be disappointing, but
it might be
means more money I have to spend.
Well, if they're exactly. Well, and the thing is, if they're going to, especially if they're adding Overwatch this year, I know people have talked about this already, and it's something that I don't see them being able to do all the championships in 2 days.
No,
with four, there's no way. They'd either have to add a third day, or which I don't know. That is. They could. I think that I don't know. So having another place where the finals take place for different that might be something they decide to do. But
I mean, this year they did a whole week before to try to get some of the prelims done for all the different games, and that seemed to work out okay for BlizzCon at least.
Yeah, well, we still had technical difficulties in the Hero Stadium where there's 3 hours.
Yes,
3 hours.
3 hours that people can't get back.
It almost ruined everything. There were a lot of, because I know I was sitting there and we were going to be recording that podcast that night, and I remember I think I turned to you or Dairies or somebody and I said, I'm going to be here until the end. We're not leaving. Like, the podcast will just happen if it happens later. I don't know, but I don't know. It's something that they have to take a look at. And I think, but with the acquisition of MLG Gaming, and if Activision is doing this where they're trying to bring esports under their brand, they have to include games in other competing games. Like they just need to. If they can bring esports, and MLG Gaming is the major league of esports, and they can make that happen. And League of Legends happens to be more popular than Heroes of the Storm. Bring League of Legends in, bring that money in, and that will then feed into Heroes of the Storm for other reasons and things like that. But
easier said than done.
I don't know. And I'm sure, yeah, exactly. But that's something I feel like I don't know, because I know this idea, like we were talking about, not being able to have the Super Bowl, but not being able to talk about the Super Bowl,
right?
If those are going to be these huge games, and that's going to be part of MLG or part of whatever they end up being, I think one of the worst things they can do is just ignore that those things are out there and that they're big, and try to say, well, our version is good too.
Try to talk around them.
It is. Yeah, I love Heroes of the Storm, but League is a bigger game right now. League is huge, and I don't know. It's could be dangerous, but yeah. There you go.
Again, it's easier said than done because they already have contracts with other networks and stuff. So
yeah,
very, very tough stuff. But it looks good for the future, and I'm really hopeful for all the different stuff. I mean, they spent at the end of last year, they spent a lot of money. And they're going to be spending a lot of money this year on getting esports set up, getting their TV and movie side set up. They're going to be spending money on development of Overwatch and, continuing development of all their other games. So, I mean,
there's a lot going on this year.
Man, just the cash that is just pouring out of Blizzard right now, and all for the all for the right reasons, I think. So, just a lot of exciting things to look forward to, I think. So it's cool. So
there's a lot of things we will see this year and be able to watch and play, but I don't know what we're going to see next year. Like, what's BlizzCon going to be this year? Are we going to have a BlizzCon?
I think they're going to actually make Disneyland into Warcraft land, and so they'll make it into Warcraft land or make it into Blizzland or whatever, and they're just going to transform the whole thing. They're going to buy Disney out. They're going to say, nope, we're just taking over. And I
don't know if they've got the cash to do that now that Disney owns Star Wars, and Star Wars made $1 bajillion in the last month.
Yeah.
$1,300,000,000, actually.
Yeah.
Nothing like making, what was it? Like a quarter of the buy price back in like 2 weeks.
Well, here's the amazing thing from a film standpoint.
Yeah.
Is they were second all-time ticket sales.
Yeah.
Second after 2 weeks.
I know. Stupid.
And that's all-time ticket sales. People, I mean, some of these movies are running for 2-3 months, maybe not 3 months, but after 2 weeks, they were second all-time worldwide. And that was before they opened in China.
Yes.
So that's 2 billion people that hadn't even had a chance to see the movie yet.
And I know that we're talking about Star Wars right now, and we'll have a chance to talk more about Star Wars.
Yeah,
Shark,
we will.
because we're actually doing Shark and I and Jules and Mick Montgomery. We're going to be doing a Star Wars show next week where we talk about all the things of The Force Awakens and other things, I'm sure.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
Next
week,
there
will be spoilers in that show, but not on this show.
If you haven't seen Star Wars The Force Awakens by now, you deserve all the spoilers in that show. If you're going to be listening to a show.
Yeah, don't listen to any Star Wars shows if you haven't seen the movie yet.
Right,
please.
Exactly.
Why did Jar Jar Binks have to do it? I don't understand.
We'll cover that and more in that show, I'm sure. But that's going to be on the 13th, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about
next
it
week, Wednesday. Too. So yeah. So keep an eye out for that. All right, let's get to some questions.
We've got mail.
We do, and if you have anything that you'd like to ask us about rating or whatever, we'll try to answer it on the show. You can always email us at converttoraid@gmail.com or call our raid line 612-787-RAID, and of course you can tweet us as well. And Dairies, can you please take the first question?
This is from Demonic Rick, and he says, what is everyone's New Year's resolution, and how long do you think it will take to achieve or fail it?
He's Demonic Rick. He's kind of a negative Nancy on that one. So, New Year's resolutions. And by the way, we're talking about, let's talk about Blizzard gaming resolutions, maybe? How about that?
Good, because I already failed my other one.
How about so, Giz, what do you got for Blizzard gaming resolutions?
Blizzard gaming. For me, it's going to, I guess, just grind out some ranked League and Heroes to get rank 1. Probably not till Season 1 actually starts, because it's still preseason for...
Notice how he didn't say max out his ring. Notice how he did not say that.
It's going to be realistic, not.
Shark, how about you, bud?
I actually already talked to Retrofunk, the team leader of Adults with Jobs, about this. And my New Year's resolution is to not spend so much time on hot slogs, to realize that there are other builds than just the most popular ones.
Right. Although
we get arguing about stuff like that all the time. I'm like, but this is what 97% of people take. And he goes, you're on the wrong map. And
right.
Nice. So yeah, I'm supposed to not look up my builds on hot slogs anymore and try to actually play the game and right be gooder.
Right. Darius, how about you?
My resolution is to go pro at Overwatch with Tobo. Tobo and I are going to go pro in Overwatch.
Don't you need like more than 2 players?
No.
You're just going to do two players.
We're just doing 2s.
Oh, right.
We're doing twos.
Right.
Tobo is ridiculously good at that game, though.
Oh, he's good.
Tobo, our friendship has been strained since the alpha went away.
I can't wait for that to come back, man.
Yeah, me too.
Seriously.
I'm so excited that I can't wait when it comes back.
My favorite games of the year, Rocket League and Overwatch. Just what I saw of it, I'm like going, oh, Overwatch could be. I mean, I know that it's not officially out, but damn, it's good. I like it. I like it a lot. So.
Yep.
Yeah. I know that for me, my New Year's resolution is to get back into raiding with a hunter and have a ton of fun before Legion hits. So that's it.
You got plenty of time to do that.
Right, exactly. I got plenty of time to fail that one. Right, Rick? I don't know.
Question is, what spec are you going?
I'm going to go...
Resto
Marks.
Hunter.
I'm going to go Marks. I think you have to do it. Well, I don't know if you have to, but you can go Beastmaster.
Beastmaster's okay.
Or Marks, right? I mean, survival's kind of not doing so hot, right? So,
well, and heck, if you get your ring maxed out, you can probably go whatever you want.
Yeah. Whatever you play best.
Casual ring, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, the next question. Let's have Shark read this one.
From Cat Named Paul from Convert to Raid Kazakh.
Oh, that's
hey,
what
guys.
Yeah. I'm glad you read
word
that.
smashed together. Cat Named Paul. It could also be Katnamed Pual.
Paul.
Fahogodads. Hey, guys. I'm a resto druid.
Oh, nice strong pad ref.
Homestead runner ref there.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey guys, I'm a resto druid, and I have some current concerns with my healing. I'm 710 healing gear, but I can't ever seem to pull good HPS numbers. I think 20 to 30k. Is this because the direct healing classes are out healing me, or could it be something else? I seem to be following my rotation pretty well, quote unquote rotation, and no one dies, but I still get yelled at. Another quick question: what's the best mage spec right now for HFC? Working on my normal and working on normal with my newish mage and trying to do the best I can. Thanks, guys. Have a good one and Happy New Year.
All right, let's take this first question first. And Darius, I'm going to throw to you.
All right. So he
as far as healing on a resto druid right now, what are your thoughts?
He says he's 710 and he's pulling 20 to 30k and nobody's dying, but he's getting yelled at. First, that's not your fault. If you're getting yelled at and nobody's dying and you're killing bosses, then your raid leader doesn't fully understand healing, I think, or whoever's yelling at you. That's not how it works. If you're doing normals or even heroics and you're 710, you're probably overgeared for a lot of this stuff, and you might be over healing it. You might have 3 or 4 healers when you only need 2 or 3, and you're only going to be able to do 20 or 30k. Unlike DPS, where the boss has, infinite hit point. The boss has however many hit points, and you're doing all of your damage until it's dead. It's not like you stop doing damage at any point. Healing is not like that. Once someone hits 100%, there's no healing to do. And if you have too many healers or you're overgeared or something like that, your numbers are going to suffer. And there might be people that are higher than you. And being a hot class, your hots are more reactionary than proactive. And there's not much you can do about that, especially if you have a paladin and a disc priest or either in your raid team. This is not. I don't think this is a problem. I think this is just this is a result of the situation. But a problem? No, I don't think so. Right. Well, and this is kind of like feel my pain, Paul. Feel my pain. That is it. Because there have been times, especially when you have a disc priest in the raid, or when you have, there are certain classes that just like keep people at 100%. And if people are at 100%, guess what you get, Paul? You get a big fat donut for the most part. So people have to be taking damage in order to be healing them. And if they're not taking damage, then guess what? As a resto druid, you're kind of screwed. That's just kind of the short end of the stick that you get. But the nice part is nobody's dying. So you could play a real healing class too instead of resto druid.
Wow. So
see, this would be my suggestion though, and I think that Pat and Dairies would both agree.
Yeah.
you should raid with me, Paul.
Sure.
And just make sure I've got hots all the time, because I guarantee you I will be standing in poop.
Right. Well,
that's a guarantee.
Actually,
that's
that
the
is
only way. The only way that Zug ever got any heals on
we
AI.
We can agree totally on that.
He always had his hots on me.
I feel like there's some healer bias here going on, though, Dairies, because we were killing bosses and people weren't dying, but you and a comp were always yelling at me because of my DPS numbers.
Well, no, that's DPS. That's not HPS.
Different.
That's, you guys are just, it's healer bias, whatever.
That's healer bias.
Just healing bias.
If you're ranged DPS and you're not on top of the meter, you might as well just be garbage. Just straight garbage.
I remember getting yelled at once or somebody, Dairies, saying that my healing numbers were looking a little low, and then I looked at my overheals. And I just about flipped out. I just about flipped my wig, because I looked at my overheals and I went, look at this. Look at this number as compared. They are much more than my actual healing numbers because of you. You jerk.
Because you're bad. You're healing the training dummy the whole time.
That's what the problem was. Yes. This is why I'm going hunter.
To help Paul here, I think we can all agree with Darius that if no one's dying, you're doing your job, and whoever's isn't agreeing with that, have them listen to the show.
Sure,
we'll set them straight. If no one's dying, the healers are doing their job. There's nothing you can do to make those numbers. The numbers don't matter until people start dying, until there's a problem and you can't down bosses. Then you should look at stuff. But if you're downing bosses and no one's dying, you're doing your job.
Right.
You could seriously AFK and only hit heals when you need to.
Well, I mean, let's not go there, but
that's too far. But yeah, I agree with Darius.
Right on. Now let's go to the next one. Hey, Gizmo, can you read this one from Lighthammer?
Oh, we didn't answer the mage question.
Oh, the mage question. Mage question
let me do that real quick. Mage question.
Yeah.
Frost Mage.
Frost Mage.
Arcane is also very, very good. Depending on what playstyle you like, Frost or Arcane. A lot of people are doing Frost. It's a little bit mobility, easier to be mobile.
Uh-huh.
And I would even just take, especially if you're starting out, just take Incanter's Flow for your level 90, I think, talent, instead of Rune of Power, because Rune of Power, you have to be really good at making sure it's down and making sure you're standing in it and making sure if you move, you're not accidentally stepping out of it. Just take Incanter's Flow. It's a lot easier. It's more passive, and it gets almost the same amount of buff. And if you're moving a lot, it's good. So Ice Flows and Incanter's Flow for your movement, and go Frost. That's what I would suggest.
Okay, thank you. Gizmo, can you read this next one from Lighthammer?
Yes, big fan, love the show, joined the guild recently, and love the community. Well, welcome, Lighthammer. Welcome. My question. A friend once told me that the only true way to beat an MMO is to be the coolest looking character. I took this to heart, and it has really come into play regarding artifacts, weapons, and Legion. In particular, Ashbringer has me dusting off my paladin in preparation for Legion. Has the look and or abilities of artifact weapons influenced your decisions at all as to what classes you will focus on in Legion?
Ooh. So, Dairies. Now, I know that you're a pretty hardcore priest player, and especially disc, but do you think that the artifact weapons will have any effect on what you choose as far as spec goes, or maybe you're going to get rid of your priest altogether?
I mean, it did. It had a huge impact. The priest weapon looks the coolest, so I'm going to continue playing the priest.
All right.
Which one? Seems pretty obvious.
Is it disc?
Disc. Yeah, I'm
what do you carry
so excited for the disc.
I don't know what it is.
The disc change. Yes, we carry around a frisbee.
What is
the worst?
What is it?
The worst.
It's a frisbee.
Because it's a disc.
Right.
Hey.
Thank you, Shark.
So no. What are you carrying around? What is the artifact weapon for Disc Priest?
It's a staff. It's a cool looking staff.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm the artifact weapon had less to do with me deciding to stay with Priest than the changes they're making to Discipline.
Yeah, that looks cool. Actually.
I'm really excited for that. But the artifact weapons are cool looking, and your friend was correct. The only way to beat an MMO is to be the coolest looking character.
Right. And have a frisbee.
And have a Frisbee.
Shark, how about you? I know that you're kind of up in the air. You don't know DK Mage, blah, blah, blah.
I don't know. I can almost guarantee you it's not going to be based on how they look. I'm sorry. I'm not one of those guys. I want to be, and when I decide on what to play, it's totally going to be based on what I am most comfortable with. I've been playing my DK a lot and just recently switched back to my Mage, my first love. The real DPS class in World of Warcraft.
Wow.
And just look in the book. If you look in the original World of Warcraft book, and it says the Mage, the highest DPS class in World of Warcraft, does the most damage, but anyway, it's there. Promise.
Wow.
Nerd. Dork of the week. Where's my sound?
You want that one?
Dork of the week.
I can do that one.
Anyway, I
should have played that earlier for you, though.
Stirring that pot of soup.
Right.
Pot of soup with
yeah,
the
exactly.
The sports ball.
Just go. What?
You're the worst.
So,
all right.
Just cut his mic off.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say that I think that Blizzard has knocked it out of the park as far as design for all this. I think that all the classes, all the weapons that I've seen so far look really, really cool.
Yeah.
I hope they have that legendary or like more than artifact, lore rich, epic feel when you're fighting with these weapons and using them. Playing the alpha a little bit, like I got to see some of the ideas they had with how your weapons are going to be informing your spells. And I think it's a really great idea that's going to breathe some life back into the game. So even if it's just not how it looks and just how it integrates into the style and the feel of the game, I think it's going to be really, really awesome.
Cool. Gizmo, now are you Hunter for life? Is that the deal with you?
Yeah, I'm going into Legion planning on maining my Hunter still. That's not going to change. I'm going to have a Demon Hunter. However...
Demon Hunter.
Yeah, I am going to use my boost on a shaman specifically for this because I have to have Doomhammer. Even though it's going to weird me out a little bit being on Alliance wielding Doomhammer, but I got to have Doomhammer, so that's absolutely what my boost is going towards.
Which spec is Doomhammer? Is that
enhancement? I would think.
I think so too. I think you're right. And for me, no, not really. It's more I'm looking at Hunter really hard for Legion only because Survival Hunter is getting that big, huge switcheroo, and oh my god, just playing that on Legion, just on the alpha, just a little bit was enough really to kind of it kind of hooked me. So or harpooned me or something. I don't know, stupid. But it was really a lot of fun. But there are also, but as the alpha goes on, I'm sure that, we'll be able to try out all these other specs and really check out what they're doing. And I think that's going to, make me want to play one spec over another more than anything else. Is just gameplay. Mm-hmm. So there. All right, let's, move it along to the BattleNet news. All right, this is where we talk about all the other big titles in the Blizzard lineup of video games. And up first, what do we got? Shark, you had some Overwatch news, right?
Yeah, just something kind of little. It was I saw it on Twitter today, and I got kind of excited about it. That Jinx now officially has a license to sell Overwatch gear, so we're gonna see some Overwatch gear on Jinx. I know they had jackets and things that you could purchase at BlizzCon from the BattleNet store, but now Jinx also has the license to produce Overwatch stuff. So hopefully we'll get some cool T-shirts and hoodies.
It's not really a shocker or anything like that, but it is welcome. So
no, yeah, it's something, and it's happening before. They had the alpha out for a couple months or the beta. And then took it away. And so, we're not even in beta right now, and they're releasing this. So they're putting, it's going to be, it's as to be expected, but they are, expecting to make money off of it. So,
right. As
cool.
our
Dairies, I want Overwatch stuff.
As our Dairies and Tovo, they're planning on making money off of Overwatch.
All the money.
Going pro. Yeah, that makes sense.
You wait and see.
In other news, we have Diablo Season 5 starting on January 15th, and they're changing up the rewards and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys are big into Diablo. I just go in for a season, and I get all the stuff, and then I'm like, all right, I'm good.
There's a lot of changes coming to Season 5. Of course, you got the new sets and stuff. They're going to have new set dungeons to where you can go into specific dungeons. You actually have to find them through clues, I think, and then complete a certain rift with a certain set on, and I think you get some sort of bonuses, but lots of cool stuff. When that comes out, my first couple weeks are just going to disappear because I binge play Diablo so hard.
Nice. Well, and you and Tovo.
Yeah.
Man, you guys just play all the Diablo. Man,
Tovo said if Overwatch comes back out, or the Overwatch Alpha comes back in, he's probably not going to play Diablo.
What?
That's how much he's likes Overwatch.
Because he was at, what was his level at? I mean, he was incredibly high.
I think it was over 500 or something ridiculous.
It was over 9,000.
Yeah, it was over 9,000!
Right. Play the sounder, Zug. Right. I did it again.
Oh, yeah.
Dork of the week.
That one? Yeah. And
your ringtone.
And in Heroes of the Storm, we also have some little bit of news. Anyway, there's a new, and this was before the holidays, so maybe you've already seen this, but there's a new replay and observer interface. So that's kind of cool, and it's from the last tournament, right? Essentially kind of based off of that. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same layout they used at BlizzCon and for the Road to BlizzCon tournaments. Mm-hmm. And I've used it a couple times. It's really cool whenever I've been casting Lords of the Storm community games, matches and stuff. And it's really cool. It has all the talents and stuff, so you don't have to tab to pull those up.
Awesome.
It's a little buggy right now. Sometimes the talents get switched up and the colors of the teams get switched up and gets a little wonky. And you have to actually, if you go to this page, so you have to download this file and slip it into this folder. Eventually it'll just be in the client. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's really neat and 1,000 times better than what they had. So
good. Well, I mean, it's just a little bit of news, and we're starting to, everybody's coming back to work finally. And so hopefully, next week we'll have even more news. And then the following week we'll have tons of news, right? That's because that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
I just want to play video games and have fun. That's what I want to do. Yay, video games. All right. And with that, we're probably going to end the show because we're coming back, but it's still a little slow. So let's do some shout-outs this week. What do we have for shout-outs? Shark, you got a shout-out?
Yeah, I've got a big shout-out. Shout-out to Pat, Jules, and Mick Montgomery. Woohoo! We're going to be, what we alluded to it earlier, we're going to have the Signals Media Movie Geek Star Wars episode. It's going to be something that there's a one-time podcast talking about Star Wars. It will be full of spoilers. Do not watch or listen to that podcast if you've not seen The Force Awakens yet. Don't do it, please.
Don't do it at all.
Because there are so many great spoilers in that movie.
It's great. It's great.
I don't want to be the one to ruin it for somebody.
It's a great film.
But yeah, that's going to be on Wednesday the 13th, which is not tomorrow, but the next Wednesday.
Yes.
At 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern. And are we going to be doing that on the CTR Twitch?
Stay tuned.
Information to come. I'll be tweeting it out, so make sure you're following me on Twitter.
There we go.
_CTR. So it'll be fun. And we're also going to be putting a VOD up on YouTube or whatever. So it's just going to be fun.
Right on.
And also, real quick shout out, there's something I came across today called chairleague.com. CHAIRLEAGUE.com.
Yeah.
And it is a league for Heroes of the Storm. You can go in there, you can sign up, you can find a team. They play I think it's Mondays and Thursdays, or you can even ask for a different day if that doesn't work for you. But yeah, it's trying to get people together to play Heroes of the Storm in a league format, like a bowling league or a softball league. So it could be lots of fun. If you're interested in that game and want to try to find a team to play with, check that out. Adults with Chop signed up.
All right, that sounds good. Giz, got any shout outs or anything?
Yeah, actually a couple. So wanted to give one shout out to the Heroes of Storm community. There's actually a tournament, a crowdfunded tournament going on this weekend called the Heroes Rising Tournament.
Yeah.
It's been completely crowdfunded. It's having all the big NA teams, and I think it's going to have a couple of the EU teams come over as well. So
Very
just
cool.
the fact that can happen in this early stage of a game, be completely crowdfunded, amazing.
It's awesome.
And then just shout out to, again, the Lords of the Storm community. You guys are awesome. And we have some big announcements coming up in the future. So.
Ooh, big announcement. I always like big announcements. But you guys are back. You just started back this week? Right?
Yeah, we started back last
week.
And so, yeah, our next show, we record tomorrow night. So
Awesome. Darius, any shout outs from you?
No.
I have a shout out. Happy belated birthday to Zoe Zazu. Because she's because it was her birthday, so happy birthday. And on Thursday of this week, I will be joining Cuddles on the game case, and we will be discussing things. He hasn't told me what. He probably won't. We'll just figure it out. But you can get more from Cuddles on his Twitter, and I'm sure I'll be tweeting it out as well. So that's all we got. And also, I would also like to give a big shout out to you guys. Welcome back. Happy New Year to all the people here, to the guys in the show, to the guys in the stream, to the guys out there listening to us not live. Thank you guys for checking out the show once again for the first time in 2016. And thanks for all the different questions that we got this week. And please join in on the conversations we're having at any given time. And I will tell you how to do that right now as soon as I bail out of this. And then I'm going
to bail out of that.
I'm going to bail out of that. And then I'm going to play this one. So there. You can email us at converttoraid@gmail.com. You can call in and leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. Or you can follow us on Twitter at converttoraid, or even individually. Isn't that right, Dairies?
Sure.
Great.
You can follow Pat Craney's at Pat Crane with a K. You can follow me. I'm at Bored Mind. You can follow Sharku at Sharku's Mima.
Yep.
That's not what it is.
Are you sure? You should register that.
Sharku
underscore CTR
underscore Mima.
Yeah. And Gizmo is Gizmo Zord with the Z.
That's
not with the J.
Right.
No wonder I never get new followers. You guys have yet to give my actual Twitter out on the show. Somebody out there that's Sharku's Mima has like 10,000 followers.
That's right. That is correct. And make sure to join the Bazooka Gobble Nation by heading over to converttoraid.com, where we have show downloads, forums, videos, audios, tons of links for Raiders. I mean, this is where everything is. If you want a one-stop shop, go to converttoraid.com. That's the place. Even for all the guild stuff. It's fine. We are also on iTunes. We're on Google Play and live streaming on alphageekradio.com for those guys that want to listen through their phones and stuff. You can do that. And yeah, the Convert to Raid podcast is produced and distributed by Signals Media. Make sure to check out all of our friends in the Signals Media All-Star Network at signalsmedia.com. Other wonderful shows. All of them. They are so great. You need to stick them in your ears.
Whoa.
That's the way it goes. That's going to be it for this show, the inaugural show of 2016. Thank you, fellas, for joining me. Thank you guys in the stream for joining us live. And thank you guys at home. We'll see you next week at our regular time, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Central. And for all the guys that Convert to Raid, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Okay.